Welcome to Sharing Success, the podcast where we turn inspiration into action. I'm Tyson Krager, your host, here to guide you on a journey of growth, motivation, and self discovery. In each episode, I'll share powerful lessons, actionable tips, and uplifting insights to help you achieve your goals and create a life you love. Whether you're here to find clarity, build confidence, or simply get inspired, you're in the right place. Let's start building your success story, one step at a time. Hello, my beautiful lovelies, and welcome back to another episode of Sharing Success. This is the space where we talk about growth, grit, and glowing up inside and out. I am your host, Tyson Krager, and today we are going to dive into something that I believe is one of the most underrated success habits out there. So, take a guess for a second. No, it's not a marketing hack. It's not a time management technique. It's not about waking up at 5 a.m. or cold plunging, anything like that, y'all. It's gratitude. Yes, so that simple word that we all hear during Thanksgiving or that we see in Pinterest quotes, that. But today I really want to go deeper because gratitude, it's not just a nice attitude. Guys, it's a biological, emotional, and energetic game changer. It's literally rewired my life. And I'm not being dramatic when I say that. Gratitude is one of the biggest reasons that I'm still standing here, still healing, and still building a life of my dreams, even after years of struggle, self doubt, setbacks, all of that stuff. The ability to find things to be grateful for in the midst of the hardest, the worst times of my life, that has been what's given me the ability to pull myself out of those times. So, if you have been in a season of survival, or maybe you're just climbing your way out of a dark space and you're looking for something, really anything that feels like hope, this episode is going to be for you. Buckle up, guys. We are going to talk about gratitude. So, we are going to start by addressing the misconception. When people hear gratitude, they often conflate that, especially in today's society, to toxic positivity. So, where you are just expected to smile through the hard times and say, oh, well, at least the sky is blue. But that's not what gratitude is about. Gratitude isn't about pretending that things are okay when they're not. Gratitude doesn't ignore the pain, gratitude sits next to it and it whispers, look at this one good thing too. So it's not about pretending that everything's okay. It's about choosing to find something worth holding on to, even in the middle of that mess. I really want you to sit with that. Choosing to find something to hold on to, even in the middle of the mess. So I don't want you to pretend like everything's okay. Really harnessing the gift of gratitude and being able to utilize it the right way is going to change things for you. Because there's a difference. There's such a strong difference between ignoring your pain, pushing it to the side, and not addressing it versus acknowledging your pain, sitting with it, realizing that it's real, and also, that's not a but statement. It's an and also realizing that there are things in your life to be grateful for at the same time. Gratitude is not a but. We're not going to say, I'm going through a hard time, but let's be happy instead. Gratitude is an and. It's realizing the duality of the parts of there can be bad things going on, but I can still find the good. I want y'all to believe me when I say I've had mess. I've had these moments where you don't think that you can see a way out. And if we're being quite frank, like lately, I've had some periods like that. And utilizing gratitude, it's changed so much for me. So, in those moments, the only thing that has been able to kind of crack the door open and let the light in It wasn't a to-do list, it wasn't productivity, it was presence. It was realizing where I am and being grateful for it. I know that sounds crazy, but I think of the alternative and I think, you know, even though I'm here and I'm feeling pain and I'm feeling hurt and I'm feeling lonely, I'm still alive. You know what I mean? And I can recognize the pain, I can recognize the hurt and the lonely, and I can be grateful that I'm alive because truthfully, I don't want the alternative. I don't ever want to not be here. I don't ever want to not be present because at the end of the day, we have problems. And we can also recognize that life is still worth living despite the problems. Let's talk about what science actually says, because you can listen to me ramble about gratitude all day, but we want to figure out the science behind it. So let's zoom out for a second. Let's look at what the research says. It's not just woo-woo stuff. It's neuroscience. So, studies from the University of California, Davis, by Dr. Robert Emmons, who basically is the pioneer in the scientific study of gratitude, showed that people who kept a daily gratitude journal for just 3 weeks reported higher levels of alertness, optimism, and energy, and fewer physical symptoms of illness just from writing down 3 things that they were grateful for. Because you know what that did? That took them out of worrying about the future, having anxiety about the past, and it kept them in the present. Being able to take yourself out of those thought cycles of focusing on any time but the present, that is really going to help you to ground yourself and ultimately change your outlook on things. Another study done at Indiana University, go IUEs, my alma mater, used fMRI scans and found that when participants wrote letters of gratitude, their brains lit up in the medial prefrontal cortex, which is the area associated with decision making, empathy, and moral cognition. And here's the kicker: those brain changes lasted for months after the study ended. So when they were able to focus on gratitude, on things that they were grateful for, and they put their head in that space, the area of decision making, empathy, moral cognition lit up. And it wasn't just like a temporary thing, that stayed more active than it would have been for months. So it really does change a lot of physical aspects about your mind. It's not just mental. Well, you know what I mean. It's not just like it doesn't just change the way that you think on a surface level. Physically, it changes things about our body as well. Took me a while to get my thought out there, but all I'm saying is that's not fluff. It's literally rewiring your brain. So, when I say that practicing gratitude can change the structure of your mind, I mean it. It strengthens the neural pathways that help you to focus on the positive instead of being hijacked by negativity bias, which we all have. There's this thing called the reticular activating system, and it's this part in your brain. And our brains are such a cool thing, but it's this part in our brain where we are, if we think about something in our brain automatically files that in a way where we are primed to notice it more in life. So, like, have you ever bought say you get a new car and then you start seeing that same car all over? Or, like, I don't know, you are talking about somebody with a friend and then you run into that somebody that you were talking about at the store. Crazy, right? It's actually the way that our brain works. Like, Normally, we wouldn't notice these things, but since they were at the front of our mind recently, we are more primed to pick up on these things. It's the same way with gratitude. So, if you can find things to be positive about, if you can find things to say thank you for, you will continue to find more and more good things in your life. And that is just a positivity train that is going to keep going. So, with that being said, though, I know how that negativity loop works too. It's, that voice that says, you're not doing enough, they're ahead of you, you failed again. And that can continue on in a cycle as well. But the thing about gratitude is it's going to quiet that voice even just a little so that your truth, your strength, your growth, your journey can take center stage again. So even if you do find yourself in that negative loop and you're continuing to notice negative things, even if you don't think it will help, try to put gratitude center stage. And I think you'll be surprised at how the positivity can soon overpower that negativity. I think just with the state of the world right now, it's easy to feel like our lives are one big collection of things that we need to overcome. Trauma, body image struggles, financial stress, finding yourself, all of that. Like it all feels like it can pile on really quickly. And I think a lot of us feel like we need to fix everything before we can feel at peace. But that's what's keeping you stuck. Is you're waiting until everything is fixed to find peace. You're not finding peace in the midst of the mess. And honestly, doing that, it doesn't even have to be big. It wasn't until I myself started small, literally just listing 3 things each morning that I was grateful for, that something shifted. Some days it was really deep. I'm grateful for my husband's love and how safe I feel with him. I'm grateful that I get to be in this body that lives and breathes and takes care of me. And other days it was pretty surface level. Like some days it can be a mix of both. I'm grateful for my really cute plant that I bought yesterday, or I'm grateful for my morning coffee. I'm grateful for the fact that my dog didn't bark at somebody and scare them away today. Like real life things as well, and surface level things, that can be it. Um, the point though, it wasn't what I wrote. And for those that incorporate practices like this and similar practices like this, the point isn't going to be what you are thankful for. The point is going to be that you're actively looking for the good. And I know that for me, when I started to do that, the good started to show up in waves. That's that's really the magic of gratitude. It doesn't wait until life is perfect. It creates the space for joy before perfection ever arrives. I promise you, this isn't just mindset. It's spiritual, it's energetic, it shifts your entire frequency. And people feel that. Your opportunities feel that. Your purpose wakes up in that kind of energy, in that kind of alignment. This will change the trajectory of things for you if you allow it, because you're realizing that you don't have to reach this arbitrary finish line before you allow the good to come to you. You're saying to the universe or whatever divine you believe in, you're saying, I already notice the good in my life, and I am so, so grateful for it. And what you put out, you get back, right? And so the universe or God, whatever you believe in, responds and says, all right, I'm sending you more of that. Um, for those that believe in spirituality and energetic shifts, that little part is for you. But if that's not your vibe, remember we did talk about a few scientific um, pieces of proof before this. So please don't let the woo woo part of this discourage you from trying to implement gratitude into your life, because it absolutely is a game changer. If not just for a few weeks, I'm begging you to try something small. Let's talk about your body for a second. Did you know that gratitude lowers cortisol, which is the stress hormone, and it increases oxytocin, which is the connection hormone? So that means your body literally responds to thankfulness and gratitude with calm. There's also a study for those of you that love, you deal with analytics and data more. There's a study from the Journal of Psychometric Research that showed gratitude excuse me, I cannot talk today. Gratitude leads to improved heart rate variability, which is kind of just a fancy way of saying that your heart is more resilient to stress when you practice gratitude. Isn't that wild? It's almost like your body responds to your mental adaptability. And your body says, hey, if you can, have this mental flexibility enough to see the good amidst a sea of bad, then I can roll with the changes too. So something that I personally noticed, that when I am in a place of gratitude, I make better choices. I love my body more. I treat my relationships with more care. And I even, I show up on social media and, on just, I guess, in my internet presence, with more confidence, because I'm not performing. I'm sharing. It's real. It's authentic. Because remember the whole and versus but. Like, I realize that the bad doesn't cancel out the good, and I still have the courage to see the good anyway. And that authenticity and that alignment, I think that's what we're all looking for. It starts with something as simple as saying thank you to yourself, your people, your body, and even your past for getting you to where you are today. So I want to get practical now. I've kind of talked a little too much about gratitude. I want to give you something that you can take away. And I want to give you 5 ways to add more gratitude into your life starting today. The first one is gratitude journaling, something that we've talked about quite a bit already in this episode. I don't want you to overthink it though. Just literally write a list down with 3 to 5 things each morning or evening. And I want you to get as specific as you can. I'm grateful for the way that the sun hit the mountain this morning. The more specific that you can be, the more powerful the shift. With that being said, if you don't have the energy to, or you're not in the headspace to go and dive deep into this, something as simple as I'm grateful that I get to lay in my bed right now, that is a-okay. Another way that you can add more gratitude into your life is voice notes. And I really love this one, especially if you are busy or, you just want something quick. Make a folder in your voice recording app. You can get any of them on your phone and just label it gratitude. And every day, whenever you have time, record a 1-minute voice note where you say out loud what you are thankful for. I'm thankful for the ability to take a quick break so I can decompress. I'm grateful for blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is, it's raw, it's real, and it helps your brain hear the gratitude in your own voice. Another way to add gratitude into your life is the thank you game. And this is another way of incorporating gratitude into your daily life. So you're not changing your schedule, you're not having to shift things around in order to incorporate gratitude. You can do what you're already doing. Oh my word. You can do what you're already doing and make it happen anyways. So this one's a really fun one. It's called the thank you game. I want you to pick a mundane part of your day. So, part that maybe you don't really look forward to: washing dishes, folding laundry, walking the dog, mowing the lawn, something like that, driving. During that time, I want you to try to think of as many things as you can that you're grateful for. So you can say, set a time period. So from the time that I start the dishes right now till the time that I am done, I am going to play the thank you game. And you can do it in your head, you can do it out loud, but just try to think of as many things as you can that you're grateful for, and even the silly ones count. So I am so grateful that my hands get to get dirty and I get to wash dishes right now. And you are just going to list things off that whole time. And you will definitely notice a mindset shift. Another way is gratitude letters. So this one's a bit more, to me, it's more impactful because you are also including somebody else in your gratitude practice. So write a letter to someone who has changed your life. You don't have to send it. I encourage you to, though, to send it if you can, and if you have the capability to give it to them, do it, because I think not only will it help you to shift your vibration, your frequency, to get those good feelings going in yourself, but it's also going to help the person just to know how much they mean to you. Um, so just the act of expressing thankfulness, it helps you with a lot of things. Helps you to heal, to forgive, to grow. And like I said, it can spread a little joy to whoever's on the receiving end of that letter. And the last one is to reframe the negative. So we kind of talked about that negativity cycle a little bit earlier. And when you are in that moment of frustration or stress, I want you to pause and try to flip that on its head. And so whenever you're in that negativity loop and you're saying, well, this went wrong and this went wrong, and I can't believe this happened, it keeps piling up. Ask yourself, is there anything that I can be grateful for in this? Or maybe just try to flip it. Or, let me think of an example. So you're like, oh my gosh, I do not love my body image today. I don't feel the way I want to feel. And it's just like, I think a lot of women can relate to this. Some days you look in the mirror and you feel like you are fine. You are, uh, 18 out of 10, you're feeling yourself. And other days you look in the mirror and you're like, why do I feel and look like a potato? On those days, let's flip it on our head. So yeah, you can look in the mirror and feel really negative about yourself, but then you challenge yourself, okay, I had my moment of negativity. Let's try to get out of this loop. I don't like the way that my body looks right now, and I can accept that. I can also state at the same time that I'm really grateful that I even have a body, and that I have the ability to put clothes on it, and, something that will help me to feel better about my body image. I have a body that moves, and I'm grateful for that. You see where I'm going with this? Like, you can continue um, in the midst of a negativity spiral to counter that with positivity. And it can be about the same thing that that you're feeling negative about. I think when you incorporate this, you'll be surprised at how often you're able to do it. And it will just continue to get easier and easier until you can think yourself out of a negativity spiral fairly quickly. So here's what I want to leave you with today. Uh, Gratitude isn't just a practice, and it definitely is not toxic positivity. It is a perspective shift. It's a muscle you build. It's a mindset that can take the darkest day and say, but look, we're still here. There is still good. And I think that is so, so powerful. The gratitude effect is real. It changes your mood, your brain, your relationships, your success, your peace. And best of all, it's free. It's accessible to everybody. And it starts with you. So I'm begging y'all, if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling discouraged, I want to challenge you. Start your gratitude practice today. I have been in such a negative place lately. I'm just being real. I'm being raw. I'm being authentic. the past few days have not been my jam. I needed this episode, even if nobody ever listens to it. I needed this episode because I'm already thinking of all the things I've been complaining about and all the things that I felt really negative about. And I'm already getting a chance to turn it on its head. And I'm already getting a chance to turn that into something good and find things to be grateful for in the midst of my mess. Text somebody your appreciation. Write in your notes app. Record a voice note. Say thank you to your body. Celebrate your tiny wins. Do something to express gratitude and watch what starts to shift. Y'all, if this episode resonated with you, please let me know. You can screenshot it, you can tag me on Instagram, you can send me a text, anything like that. Tell me one thing that you're grateful for today. I really want to spread the energy, the frequency, the vibe of gratitude and being thankful. And if you've got a gratitude story or a moment that changed your life, I'd also love to feature it on a future episode. So reach out and let me know. I really appreciate you guys being here. In the spirit of gratitude, I am so grateful for the few people that listen to this podcast and listen to me ramble about this stuff. And I hope that you find a reason to be thankful today, because I sure know that I am thankful to you and the light that you bring to this world. Guys, thank you so much, and I hope you have a beautiful day full of gratitude. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Sharing Success. If you enjoyed what you listened to today, I'd love it if you could take a moment to subscribe to my YouTube channel for even more inspiring content, leave a review for the podcast, or share this episode with someone who could use a little motivation today. Your support means the world and helps me to keep growing this amazing community. And as always, remember to keep striving, keep sharing, and keep succeeding. I'll see you next time.